The number 2 most significant intangible asset risk is that 8 of the 10 companies we see are unable to prove they actually own their intangible assets. That is, they suffer from chain of title issues. Intangible assets are unlike physical or tangible assets in that they are often off the balance sheet and regularly don't feature on any kind of asset register or inventory. When you throw in issues such as joint development, outsourced contracting arrangements, restructures, and employment disputes, it is often very difficult to actually pin down exactly who owns what. In a recent example, we were dealing with a software company that was raising a US $35 million Series C round. The standard warranty that investors will require a company to sign is that you own all of your assets. In this case, the investors actually called the directors and founders out on that warranty. They said, prove it. When push came to shove, the company realized they could not actually prove it owned its software. The reason was actually quite simple. The company had been founded by 3 founders. The founders worked together for over a year without being paid and without any kind of corporate entity. One of the founders left. Immediately, you have a split in the code. Who owns what? Throw in the complications that they had used friends to do a lot of the coding over a period of time, had utilized outsourced contractors, had merged with another company partway through the development phase, while also using open source code, and the result was a Gordian knot of software code that was extremely difficult to actually prove who developed and owned which bits of the company's core assets. In this case, once the investors discovered that the ownership of the code couldn't be clearly proven, the deal fell over. So what's the solution? To avoid this type of situation, you firstly need to identify which intangible assets in your business are critical. Once you understand which of your assets are business critical, then you need to sit down and figure out who developed them, who owns them, and who controls them. Then it will be time to record this and codify it. By doing this, you will be able to track who owns which assets and establish legal title to them. This is critical if the company is ever sold, because you will be required to warrant you own all your assets, and that includes your intangible assets. The same holds true if you're entering into a joint venture or taking on investment. The counterparty wants to know you own what you say you do. So it is essential that you identify these assets, then record and codify them in a way that proves you correctly own them. If you're unable to do so, then you need to rapidly remedy the situation.